Hello guys, welcome back to the second week of the Coaches Show. John Kipper on the far end over there. I'm Grant Otten. And joining us for the first segment, as always, Craig Williams from Columbus. Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
Doing great. Great to be here after a big win.
Yeah, you guys started off with Waverly, of course, last year. You guys fell to Waverly in kind of a heartbreaking game, but this year came back and very much got your revenge. Kind of walk us through the highlights of the game.
Well, yeah, we really focused on getting this first win and starting off 1-0, and so it was great to see our guys come out from the opening drive and play really well, especially in the first half. And going through the first half, I think we scored on the first 4 possessions. This was a long play. Caleb Esch was back up to his old tricks from last year, catching the ball and running a long ways for touchdowns. So he took a screen pass there and did a great job breaking a couple tackles and going 83 yards for a touchdown. And Michael Cook had a very solid night. Threw for 167, rushed for another 132, something like that. So very solid night on both throwing the ball and running the ball, and he really had our offense going.
As you guys get ready for an away game, and even as you kind of start with this funky school schedule at the beginning of the year where you guys haven't been in school yet like the other teams, is it hard getting the team focused or anything? Cause I know certainly from a fan perspective, I was wondering if the team was going to be able to get focused in a weird situation like that.
Yeah, you always wonder when something goes a little bit different, and you got to try to find ways to make it as normal as possible for the guys. But I think the kids did a great job of really battling through all the time off they had, and because it wasn't much different than being in a summer type camp situation. Once we got out there and we got a nice lead, got up 27-7 at halftime, stretched the lead to 34-7. We went back to some of our power stuff, and the guy that we have in our power sets this year is Juan Leon, and he did a great job coming in running the football. I think he had 74 yards rushing when we needed it and when we needed that clock to run.
And you mentioned that you guys jumped out to an early lead. You guys made quite the road trip. I mean, going out to Waverly is not necessarily a short drive. How important was it to jump on them early?
Yeah, especially after last year, to come out and set the tone early, to let them know that we weren't going to let them hang around this year like we did last year, and then let them get us there at the end. I think it was a sigh of relief on the coaching staff's part. I know that, but I think the kids, as the game went along, they had a lot of confidence and realized that they should get out of there, in the second half, and they should get out of there with a win, and the confidence built, and they started believing all the way through the game.
Clearly, Michael Cook had a big night. How has he improved from last season?
The biggest thing Michael's done is improved his overall knowledge of the offense. And he really has an understanding of this offense, whether it's in practice or on the field. He knows what we're looking for. He knows what we're trying to do on every play. He can look at a right tackle and tell him who he's got to block. He can tell the running back where he's got to go in pass protection. That's very, very important, that your quarterback can do those things, because they don't have a coach standing behind him like they do in practice. And Michael can take care of some of those things on the field for us.
Just talking about Michael a little bit too, and you see that development, obviously a big track athlete, so you got to see him on his foot. I think we saw a little bit at the beginning where you see him rolling out, and there's some open field, he takes off, he runs for about 30 or so yards. Having that mobility, how has that changed your game plan? Because obviously you have some great receivers downfield and some great running backs to have a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, it's changed the design of some of our plays, whereas before we were trying to hit the ball as quick as we can between the tackles. Now we're trying to get our quarterback on the edge, and we're trying to get our other speed guys on the edge. We got to stay in the tackles a little bit to keep teams honest. We got to throw the ball downfield a little bit to keep teams honest. But, when you get Michael out in a run-pass option, it really puts a lot of stress on those outside linebackers and those flat defenders. As soon as they step up, he can dump it over their heads. So he does a great job with it.
I'm sure you were pleased with the win, but every coach can figure out something their team needs to improve on. Big win like that. What does your team still need to get better at as the season goes on?
Well, we didn't really put 4 quarters together. We came out in the third quarter. We were a little bit flat. We did score on our second possession. But, there's definitely things we got to work on. And special teams being at the top of the list, we weren't happy with our special teams played. Throughout the game, there wasn't a single special teams that met their goals for the game. And it's something that we got to continue to improve on, because as you get later in the year, those games are going to come down to 2, 3, 4 points, and special teams are going to make all the difference.
Let's jump ahead to Friday here. It's our live game of the week. We're very excited to come out and watch you guys for our first broadcast of Columbus High football this season, but you're taking on Bennington, a team that, as we talked about beforehand, a little bit more deadly in the backfield.
Yeah, last year they were a power running team, and they had a big running back in Liskey that's now down at Nebraska. They present different challenges than Waverly did, and different challenges that we saw from last year. Their backfield is very explosive. They got a tailback that's very shifty, very fast. Their quarterback's a returning guy that's a big lefty that can throw the ball. He's got a big arm, and they're going to take shots on us. They'll take 6-7 shots down the field every game, and we gave one up last week on our only touchdown. We gave up a deep one, so we're expecting them to take shots on us down the field.
So how are you preparing for that, the possibility that they're going to go deep on you several times?
Well, you just got to rep it in practice. You got to keep your corners and your safeties over the top, and you know what? If they want to take the 6-7 yard pass, if they are patient enough to do that all the way down the field, you tip your hat to them. But it's high school football. Eventually, if you make a team take enough snaps, they're going to make a mistake, and you just got to be there to pounce on it as a defense.
We saw some mid-range throwing out of Cook a little bit, but as I was kind of going through the highlights, really his mobility and then the athleticism of the receivers, and Brash, one of those guys too, is what really opened up some of those plays. Are you specifically looking at anything as far as a passing game that you guys want to improve on going into this matchup and facing this Badgers defense?
Well, I think Michael knows that he could have made a couple of his reads a little quicker. I think we missed I think he was 6 for 9, and in two of those passes that he did throw were thrown a little bit too late, and the window closed. He realizes that he's got to make that throw a little bit quicker. We can always be a little bit more efficient. To be honest with you, our receivers did a nice job catching the football. We've got to be a little bit better blocking on the edge in our option game and our quick screen game. That we let a couple guys get by us out there that normally we haven't been doing all year in practice. So they got to pick that up, as we go into week 2.
And you guys did sneak into the top 10 Omaha World Head rankings. I went to Lincoln Pius. Our coaches, especially one coach, love to bring that up in practice as a motivational tool, whether we were climbing or whether we were falling. Is that something you do at all, or do you kind of stay away from that?
You know what? We actually tell our kids that the numbers in front of your name mean nothing. It's the numbers after your name. And right now we're sitting at 1-0, so it's still a 1 and a 0. But, it means a heck of a lot more when it's behind your name instead of in front of your name.
Coach, we certainly enjoy you stopping by again for another week. We're very happy to be broadcasting you guys this Friday. We're hoping for the best for you guys as you face a very tough team, and we will see you here on Friday.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
All right, we got Coach Kurt Frenzen coming up next, and then Tyler Linder from SCOTUS after that. We'll go back shortly in a little bit here on the Coaches Show.
Shining sea. This is where I live, and there's no place I'd rather be. This is where I live, and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, these are my neighbors. This is the team that I stand for. This is my daylight, all night world, and so much more. This is my hometown. These are my friends and family. This is where I live, and there's no place I'd rather be. And there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, there's nowhere else on earth that feels so good to me. This is where I live, and there's no place I'd rather be.
Welcome to Columbus Motor Company.
At Columbus Motor Company, they provide their very best price on every new vehicle on their lot. During the Chrysler Summer Clearance event, it's just their very best price with no hidden charges. Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
It's our privilege to make a healthy difference in Columbus, and it shows in all we do. Columbus Community Hospital is community-owned, which creates a culture built on commitment, compassion, and care. We nurture this strong sense of community in every decision and interaction, helping enhance the lives of patients we're proud to call friends and neighbors. It's no wonder community is our middle name. Learn more about our quality care and career opportunities today.
At Bank of the Valley, our commitment has always been to our customers and the communities we serve. Bank of the Valley is supporting our area schools by introducing the first School Pride Cards, a Visa check card with your choice of custom design for your local school. New and current customers can earn cash for the school of their choice by choosing one of 16 School Pride card designs. The Bank of the Valley School Pride card can be used anytime, anywhere. Show your school pride this year and sign up today by visiting any one of the 5 Bank of the Valley locations.
Guys, welcome back to the Coaches Show. Ray Otten along with John Kipper on the far end, and now Lakeview's Kurt Frenson. How are you, Coach?
Doing great. It's been a nice week of practice for us after the big win at Milford, and getting geared up to have number 1 come to our place.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, obviously, to see how this week 2 pans out for you guys. But certainly started off on a high note, getting a victory in week 1. Let's talk a little bit about the highlights against Milford Dorchester. The offensive ground game seemed to be running as efficiently as it could have been.
Yeah, we had a good night on the ground. Lucas Satcher obviously had a huge night for us. Had 310 yards rushing. Not bad on 11 carries. So school record for yards in a game, and then school record for yards per carry in a game. So we had a great start to the season.
You guys had obviously some very strong backs last year too. To see him step up here in week 1 and looking like he's going to be a good horse for you guys to have out of the stable, what's that instill in you as a coach?
Well, we got a lot of confidence in our backs, and Lucas definitely is one of those weapons that we can use. Jake Frenzen's another one. Seth Gerkensmeyer coming off the bench, and then our quarterbacks and receivers who feel like we have some weapons there, including Brooke Balin at tight end that we can go to and spread the ball around a little bit.
And looking at that run game, especially that yards per carry number really sticks out. What was working so well out there for you? What was the line blocking particularly well? Was he just seeing the holes? What was going on?
Well, it was a little bit of combination of both. We had a lot of perimeter yardage the other night, but he did get some cutback yardage too as well. He was able to get some yards after contact. So you don't have a big night like that if you don't break some tackles, and he was able to break some tackles. But in the same respect, we were getting him to the edge pretty good on our jet sweep, and the timing was great, and initial blocking was great, and he took care of the rest.
We're going to take a look at some highlights here as we keep going, but certainly it was a fun night for you guys defensively. I saw you guys get into the backfield, get some penetration as well.
Yeah, the effort was really good the other night. I thought we flew to the ball really well, and our pursuit to the football was excellent. So I was excited to see how we came out pretty strong the other night on defense. But Lucas just did a great job finding the seams, and this guy had an angle on him a little bit. Otherwise, we'd have a few more yards there. And he just did a nice job getting after it there. And he also was an impact for us on special teams as well. And very dangerous return, big block by Cameron Droz there to spring him early, and then he got down in their territory pretty deep there. So a couple great scoring opportunities that he had set up for us. And it was just good to see us kind of ham and egg it. We had good special teams, good defense, good offense, and it was just a good all-around game for our team. And to come out and have very few mistakes the first night was encouraging as well. We were negative in the turnover ratio, which if you would have told me before the game that we were going to even win the game negative turnover ratio, I thought you were crazy. But we were negative and then still won by the amount we did, so we're excited about that. Seth Gerkensmeyer gave us some really good tough yards off the bench the other night and did a great job for us. And then Cage Jansen came in off the bench at quarterback well, and good tough run here at quarterback that you like to see your fullbacks do, let alone your quarterback. So it was great to see out of him as well. And then nice jet sweep here that Lucas was able to find the seam and get up through for a score and got us to 14-7 there, and we got some good momentum going. And our defense just kept coming with plays all night long, and really I thought overall really flew to the ball really well, and that's one thing we're going to have to continue to do is great pursuit.
That was a fourth down stop for you guys as well too. How big were those momentum boosters for you guys, even though you had a lead?
Good. We had a lot of chances to not take on adversity, very well. But every time we had adversity, it seemed like we took it on head on, and I was really pleased about that. We had a couple sudden change situations that our kids took the field and stormed the field and had the right attitude and the right frame of mind. We had a couple times when they got big plays where we could have caved on defense, but they came back and got the next set of downs. They got them off the field. After their score, they came together and we got them stopped there too as well. So I was really pleased with how we responded to adversity all night.
Yeah, switching gears to your opponent this week now, Norfolk Catholic. You mentioned #1 rating in one publication. This is a team that dominated Bishop Neumann, who was in the final last year. What are you up against? What are you seeing when you're looking at film at Norfolk Catholic?
Well, they're a very talented team, obviously. Their running back, the Couts kid, is an all-state type kid, and they have an all-state type lineman, and they've got more than just one lineman. They're pretty good up front. But they're a good football team. And the thing about Norfolk Catholic, they're always well coached, always very disciplined, and going to take care of the football. So we're going to have to do the same type of things. And how can we stay with them? How can we potentially, pull the upset here? Well, we're going to have to play with high-end effort, and we're going to have to do it every down. We can't take plays off.
So you'll talk about obviously high-end effort. Any keys specifically offensively you might look at adjusting or things you're really focused on in practice this week?
Well, we're going to have to keep them honest. We're going to have to do our due diligence in spreading the ball around a little bit. If we just have one guy we're relying on, they're going to key on him, and that's going to not be a good game plan for us. So we need to spread the ball around. We need to do our best to run the ball, but we also need to get some yards through the air. And in the second half last year, we moved the ball at times pretty decent against their ones, but not consistent. We're going to have to be consistent in what we do.
How big of a difference is it going from a Milford team that might be considered average, below average, to Norfolk Catholic, top of the line C1? Are you telling your kids anything different in practice, or is it pretty much a normal routine going forward?
Well, the biggest thing that we've preached all year is, first and foremost, they need to do their job each and every down, so that doesn't change on whoever you play. I don't care if you play the bottom end team, which we don't have on our schedule. There's not one team that we have on our schedule that would consider the bottom of C1. But whether you're playing a low end team or a team like Norfolk Catholic, you have to first and foremost do your job. And right there with it, pretty much 1A and 1B is have great effort every down. And if you do those things, I think you're going to consistently be in games week in and week out, and I think our kids are really attacking that type of mind frame.
As you guys went back and watched this film, was there anyone that even during the game that kind of stuck out to you that you're excited to kind of lean on this season?
Well, I think Lucas obviously had a huge first night. I mean, that's obvious, and his big playability. Isaac Dreyfus here, had a great catch for us the second half, had a nice fade route. 100 yards receiver, whatever he had, and he made some big plays for us. He's a big, tall, rangy guy at receiver that you just don't get every year, and he's a heck of a corner for us, too. I thought our outside backers, Jacob Sprunk, had a big night for us there with an interception, and I thought he's really taken his game to another level physically. I just thought he was really physical all night long. I thought he played with high-end effort all night. And the guy that really is standing out is Brock Foltz. He's a guy on defense that's flying around the field. He's a guy that, again, it makes me nervous when we have to go against him. I've got to usually call him off a little bit, but he's going to, be a guy that we're going to have to lean on defensively, but our line as well too, and that's been a nice. I think we're ahead of the curve a little bit. By no means are we a finished product up front, but I think we're ahead of the curve a little bit.
You mentioned the turnover ratio, leaving some points on the board. Is that stuff that you've really been able to preach to your team after a big win like that? That obviously you can still get better at some aspects of the game.
Yeah, and I think that watching the film, they feel like that too. And we talked about that at halftime a little bit. I said, hey, we take care of the ball and come out and attack the second half, we can kind of get this thing going in a little bit different direction for us. It's 14-7 at that time. I felt like we can open it up a little bit score-wise and pull away. And boy, our kids responded. And, we're going to have to do those things. We need to be plus in the turnover ratio this week. And if we can, I think it's going to be a heck of a game Friday night.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you coming in again for week 2. We can't wait to watch
Yep, we're excited to get going.
Well, guys, we will be right back in a little bit. You can't see me, but I'm still talking. We will be right back in a little bit with Coach Linder. After this, Coach Frinzen and the Vikings taking on Norfolk Catholic. This is the Coach's Show. Cool.
These are my people. This is the place that I come from. This is my piece of this America I love. There's nothing like it. From sea to shining sea. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah. These are my neighbors. This is the team that I stand for. This is my daylight, all night world and so much more. This is my hometown. These are my friends and family. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. And there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, there's nowhere else on earth that feels so good to me. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be.
Welcome to Columbus Motor Company.
At Columbus Motor Company, they provide their very best price on every new vehicle on their lot. During the Chrysler Summer Clearance event, it's just their very best price with no hidden charges. Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
It's our privilege to make a healthy difference in Columbus, and it shows in all we do. Columbus Community Hospital is community-owned, which creates a culture built on commitment, compassion, and care. We nurture this strong sense of community in every decision and interaction, helping enhance the lives of patients we're proud to call friends and neighbors. It's no wonder community is our middle name. Learn more about our quality care and career opportunities today.
At Bank of the Valley, our commitment has always been to our customers and the communities we serve. Bank of the Valley is supporting our area schools by introducing the first School Pride Cards, a Visa check card with your choice of custom design for your local school. New and current customers can earn cash for the school of their choice by choosing one of 16 School Pride Card designs. The Bank of the Valley School Pride Card can be used anytime, anywhere. Show your school pride this year and sign up today by visiting any one of the 5 Bank of the Valley locations.
These are my people. This is the place that I come from. This is my piece of this America I love. There's nothing like it. From sea to shining sea. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah. These are my neighbors. This is the team that I stand for. This is my daylight, all night world and so much more. This is my hometown. These are my friends and family. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, there's nowhere else on earth that feels so good to me. This is where I live and there's no place I'd rather be.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning back into the Coaches Show. You see, Coach Linder is not sitting right here. It's because we had to catch up with it earlier. He couldn't make it in for the live seat, so I went and met him right before practice. So Coach Linder taking on Newman this week with his Scotus Shamrocks. They fell to Wayne, but they are certainly looking to come back with some revenge. Let's check out that interview now. So, Coach Linder, obviously you come away with a loss, but there was some good things you saw out of the game. What are some of the highlights, I guess, you pick away from that match with Wayne?
You know, I thought our kids showed a lot of resolve throughout the game. A lot of bad things happened, big plays, and give credit to Wayne. They earned all of those big plays. But, our kids never gave up. They continued to fight. And, all the way in that fourth quarter, I never saw guys hanging their hats either on the sideline or on the field. So, we had great resolve.
You guys were able to capture 2 fumbles, unfortunately threw 2 interceptions. But the fact that you're getting some turnovers, maybe if you eliminate that, is I guess that a spot where you're hoping you can get against Newman, which is going to be a big matchup, to get those turnovers but not give them on yourself?
Yeah. Anytime that you limit turnovers and win the turnover margin, you're setting yourself up for success. And so especially Newman, who's an option-oriented offense, anytime we can get that ball on the ground, we're in a better place. But, eliminate those turnovers, eliminate silly penalties that we can control, and those have been at the focal point of our practice.
As you look at what you guys did from the quarterback position and moving forward into this Bishop game, what is it like and what are you kind of evaluating at?
I think we had great quarterback play the other night. Caden Pellin threw a couple of interceptions, but, they were kind of forced trying to make a play, in kind of desperate times. And so, really happy with the poise of that young man, especially his first game as a signal caller. So he had a great game. We're looking to improve on that coming into the year.
You guys had some exciting running backs, and one of those was an exciting play towards the end where it went really long for a touchdown. What I guess when you talk about the running back position, what are you guys looking to highlight here in this next matchup?
We really just want to distribute the ball as well as we can. It helps keep guys fresh because a lot of our guys are playing both ways, and so if we have that traditional I formation bell cow, he's going to be worn out on defense and on special teams. So we ask a lot of our guys, whether it's our fullbacks, our wiremen, Strecker, or our wingbacks and Mustard, Mueller, and Palmer. So we really just want to distribute the ball extremely well to keep those guys fresh, but to keep teams honest. Once you start keying on one guy, that's when the other guy can really kind of cause you harm.
Let's switch over to defensive end. I guess kind of pick out some highlights from the game and maybe some stuff you want to improve on.
Definitely I thought that, our leadership was there on defense. I think that, our poise and, just attention to detail could be a whole lot better. You look at, kind of the hallmark of the game the other night was just big plays for Wayne, and it wasn't a scheme thing, it wasn't an alignment thing, it was kind of a communication and just detail thing. So, everything from our stance to, position and alignment, all those things had to be addressed, and thank God for film. We were able to kind of take a look at those things, and it's really been a key, component of our practice this week.
This game behind you now, obviously, you move on and can go to bigger things. It's the beginning of the year, the first game. Sometimes, it stinks to lose, but you guys have definitely certainly a high trajectory going ahead. Newman is a very tough opponent. They failed to Norfolk Catholic, though, so what's kind of the read on them going into this week?
They're a very talented team. Anytime you get a Coach Turman coach team, it's going to be a quality product on the field. And they were very competitive in that game. Norfolk Catholic, give them the nod. They're an incredibly gifted football team. They're going to make noise in the playoff picture. But don't let that fool you. Newman's a great football team. They have the best offensive line and defensive line I've seen Newman have since I've been coaching, which is this year will be approaching a decade. And so they're extremely physical up front. They got a slew of running backs that can just kind of knife you. So we've got to keep their option game in check. Play very disciplined defense and really just run the ball right at them on offense. And I think that we're going to be in for a great evening.
I think obviously with the transition they've had for maybe some players that are no longer on that Newman team, people might be thinking maybe they're not that good this year after seeing they lost to Norfolk Catholic, but it certainly seems not to be the case. And if you got a chance to watch them, you can see they can do some really good stuff. What for you guys specifically will you need to do offensively to get our win to Friday night?
I think that we just need to execute a very sound game plan and just understand our rules. They don't run a very complex scheme defensively. It's just here we are, try to run against this type of a scheme. So if we keep our pad level low, we execute on our 2-on-1 blocks, I think it's going to open up holes for our running backs. Maybe not right away. They're very similar to us with their roster, where they've got a lot of guys playing both ways. So if we can weather the storm early and just, play, position offense and position defense, I think it's going to make for a pretty wild second half.
When you talk about that big line that they have or the talented line they have, are you guys looking at maybe some slants and what you want to do defensively? Or are you incorporating some blitzes, or what's the key there?
We're going to do us. We've got to just make sure that our reads are crisp. We got to make sure that we're physical and that we're commanding double teams up front. If we can do those sorts of things, this defense can be successful against any offense that we run against.
Anything specific you're looking at practice this week that you really want to touch on as we get closed up here?
Just playing SCOTUS football. We play a passionate game of defense, a disciplined, game of offense, and a really dedicated game on special teams. So as long as we stay true to ourselves, things are going to end up really well for us.
Coach, thanks a bunch.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Well, certainly wish SCOTUS the best of luck as they take on Newman, a very good team. It's looking like this year. SCOTUS looking to be a good team themselves. Lakeview taking on Norfolk Catholic, the big number one. We'll see if they can reign supreme or if they can knock off the top dollar. And then Columbus High, they will be live on News Channel Nebraska. John Kipper and myself will be calling the game as they are live here in Columbus. So catch that action. Columbus High looking to start a season 2-0. So we'll see if they can get the big victory, and we will check back in next week as all three coaches come back in for the Coaches Show here on News Channel Nebraska. For John Kipper, I'm Grant Ott. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to Columbus Motor Company.
At Columbus Motor Company, they provide their very best price on every new vehicle on their lot. During the Chrysler Summer Clearance event, it's just their very best price with no hidden charges. Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
It's our privilege to make a healthy difference in Columbus, and it shows in all we do. Columbus Community Hospital is community-owned, which creates a culture built on commitment, compassion, and care. We nurture this strong sense of community in every decision and interaction, helping enhance the lives of patients we're proud to call friends and neighbors. It's no wonder community is our middle name. Learn more about our quality care and career opportunities today.
At Bank of the Valley, our commitment has always been to our customers and the communities we serve. Bank of the Valley is supporting our area schools by introducing the first School Pride Cards, a Visa check card with your choice of custom design for your local school. New and current customers can earn cash for the school of their choice by choosing one of 16 School Pride card designs. The Bank of the Valley School Pride card can be used anytime, anywhere. Show your school pride this year and sign up today by visiting any one of the 5 Bank of the Valley locations.
These are my people. This is the place that I come from. This is my piece of this America I love. There's nothing like it. From sea to shining sea.